How's it going, guys? And today we have a much more special video planned for you all today. Ever since we hit our milestone, I thought of doing a story-based video with a bit of scaling sprinkled in. Now before we begin today's video, please as always subscribe, like, and all that pretty much. Because we want to hit the next milestone, which is 1K. Which I won't be surprised if we hit by the end of next week, by the end of next month, since you did amazing on the last milestone. Anyway, now today's question or topic will be on can Chatterbox survive the Monsterverse? Now, if you don't know what the Monsterverse is, I mean, are you living under a rock at this point? Basically, it's like the American version of Godzilla, the good one. And it's like, an extended universe, in a sense. Like, think of like Marvel and all that. Now, I figured, why not pit, Chatterbox, the most advanced, most strongest soldiers in the Queen's arsenal, and one of the most powerful Raptors till this day. And I've seen a lot out of him looking like a kaiju, so I thought, why not throw him into a kaiju universe? Now, this video's format will be a lot more similar to the format you'd see in like a Goji Chronic video, like the Could Indominus Rex Survive Skull Island video, similar to that one, in a way. But we'll still have some sprinkled on scaling, to actually add evidence, because I'm not just going to have Chatterbox walk through the verse without, taking, a damage and all that stuff, and it needs to make sense in a way. Now, for the rules, I'll be giving Chatterbox his Nihilist transformation, aka his dragon form. I won't be giving him an army of Raptors, since this is really to show what he can do on his own strength. And of course, for the Monsterverse, we'll be covering some Titans, not all of them, because some Titans will just have an entire different arc in the background. I'd rather not go through that. And I don't want to prolong the video, because I do want to split this video into two parts. But I don't want to add every single, Monsterverse Titan in the series. Also, like I mentioned, won't include every Titan. So Shimo, Scar King, and all that, and the Skull Island monsters will not be in this video, excluding Kong. Kong will be in this video. Well, not this video, probably the part 2 version. So that's all that. Anyway, let's get to the scaling part. Now, since most of the kaiju aren't that strong in the Monsterverse minus Godzilla, they're like country level at best. Of course, you can get them higher, with them destroying cities and mountains and all that shit, which I'll flash up some calcs here. Now, for Godzilla, we will not be giving him his pink form, even though it's in the thumbnail, but I just wanted to use the thumbnail because it looks cool. But no, he won't have his pink form. Even then, Godzilla will appear later on. So he won't be the first opponent Chatterbox will fight, because that would just be unfair. And for speed, they can range into like subsonic to like hypersonic. Anyway, now for reference, I'll also be sizing up Chatterbox, making him like the same size as like Godzilla-ish, because I don't want him to have like a little chance, and it'll look more cooler with him being, taller and all that. Now, for his main scaling, it comes off his superiority to tyrants such as a Kraken, who could wrap around islands, and he himself, the Kraken, is compared to an island as well. He should already be above characters such as Loudmouth, who are town level, so there's that too. And for speed, he should reasonably range to supersonic, via being comparable to Indivilia, who could range to faster than sound speeds. And for his hacks, for this encounter, he will have his, regeneration, missiles, his corruption. However, I'm not so sure his corruption will work on Titans. Probably just irritate them, if anything. And then lastly, he'll have his second mode, which is the dragon form, which he can switch into whenever he wants. And this will, of course, give him, fire manipulation and all that. And he should, of course, have his Type 2 immortality. Without further ado, let's begin. Chatterbox awakens from his slumber, analysing the surroundings around him. He notices that he seems to be in some kind of forest, but it seemed familiar. The Amazon rainforest? He questioned himself. But he destroyed that during the last Raptor invasion. He stood up and began roaming around the forest, realizing that this must be a different universe than what he was originally in. A universe where humanity roamed without the Rapture War. Chatterbox knew this for sure since he couldn't find any of his own kin, and began examining the fauna to make sure his theory was correct. However, as he was examining the fauna around him, he heard a deafening roar. As he turned around, he was ambushed by a large dragon, causing him to fall backwards with a grunt. The dragon seemed to be more of a pest to Chatterbox, however. It was the Iron Dragon, if anything, which seemed to be attacking due to its territory being treaded on by Chatterbox himself. It then produced a disgusting secretion covering Chatterbox's face. This only pissed him off more, however, as Chatterbox's tail stabbed through the dragon's hide, causing it to fall limp, as Chatterbox stood back up and began smashing the dragon's face into the ground like it was a pancake. Of course, the Iron Dragon was no match for Chatterbox. Chatterbox was way more bulkier, way more stronger, and had way stronger durability. He roared in victory as Chatterbox stood over the corpse of the Iron Dragon, and then carried on moving to a place where it was safe. Since he was a machine, he didn't need to have the need for sleep, or even food. Since he carried on walking, he wouldn't even waste energy. As he carried on moving, it observed another titan, a giant sloth-looking mammoth. It was, of course, Behemoth. However, he seemed docile, so Chatterbox decided to ignore the giant beast and walk away, since the Behemoth didn't seem like much of a threat. However, as he moved through the waters, he noticed a giant spider-like creature. It seemed similar to one of his Rapture soldiers, aka Harvester, but no, this was Scylla, an aggressive destroyer titan. The monster stood ready to attack as Chatterbox tensed up. He decided to play it smart, decided to release some of his missiles as they collided into Scylla, causing it to lose sight of the Rapture. As the smoke settled, Chatterbox punched the giant titan in the face, causing it to smash against a mountain. Chatterbox realized it was his chance. As he lifted his arm up, he was ready to strike. However, as he did, the tentacles wrapped around him from the beast. It released a jolt of electricity, stunning Chatterbox momentarily, causing him to roar in pain. How could this be? How could this creature control electricity, he thought. This was a Rapture's kryptonite, and would probably destroy Chatterbox if he didn't figure out a way how to get free. However, Chatterbox didn't falter under the pain. He ripped his arm free, smashing the titan's face in. Punch after punch, parts of Scylla's armour fell, spreading around the ground. After that, then the monster was swiped away across the forest by Chatterbox's fists. Chatterbox knew he won and didn't continue fighting Scylla, as Scylla burrowed on the ground. Her armour defeated, and she roamed free from the monster's clutches. Chatterbox almost enjoyed the thrill, this never-ending onslaught of beasts. He found it almost addictive. As he carried on moving, toppling many trees, he seemed to disturb a pack of bramble boars. However, these creatures were small and pathetic, nothing compared to the Rapture known as Chatterbox. As he swiped his tail, he sent them flying into trees, causing them to basically die on impact. Chatterbox, of course, didn't care if these creatures were necessary for the ecosystem, as he just wanted revenge, and to continue his Rapture invasion, even without the Queen. However, as he carried on scoping out the forest, he noticed the roots of the ground restrain him almost. In confusion, he looked around, looking for the source, as suddenly a large creature burst out of the ground. A massive, demonic-looking titan, being black in coloration, with 10 yellow eyes, and a lack of pupils. It was Amulu. Chatterbox thought he was the most imposing threat here, but this beast seemed to be even more a threat than him. He broke out his root restraints, created by Amulu, and charged at the beast, in anger. However, the monster moved out of the way in an agile movement. It seemed the root-like appendages were wrapping around Chatterbox, and he didn't even realise it. Chatterbox felt a singeing pain, however, as the roots pierced his skull. This creature seemed to be manipulating his nerves. This was all confusing to him, as Chatterbox started screaming in pain and falling back against the ground. However, as he was dazed, he noticed something about the titan's body. It was pure vegetation and just trees. However, before he could plan his next move, the Titan launched its elastic fist into Chatterbox's jaw, sending him flying into a mountain, breaking his jaw on impact. Chatterbox merely scoffed as he regenerated his jaw, wiping away his black blood. He stood back up and started transforming his body, it tensing and contorting into a more monstrous form. As his arms now became dragon heads as he roared in rage, Amulu seemed confused by this, but decided to deliver another elastic punch. However, as he did, Chatterbox delivered a flurry of flames, burning Amulu's arms off. This was a mistake, and Amulu knew it. As the Titan roared in agony, collapsed into the floor with shock. Before he could look back up, Chatterbox slammed his fist into Amulu's mouth, releasing a wave of flames into the beast's mouth, causing him to burn like a forest being set on fire. As Amulu's body faded into ash, Chatterbox roared in victory. He knew this was the perfect place for a battle, for war and bloodshed. However, as he breathed heavily with thrill, he looked onwards, seeing a creature with blue dorsal plates and almost like a large lizard in looks. However, this was no ordinary Titan and no pushover. It was Godzilla. Well, that will be for part 1. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we will continue in part 2, and look out for that video, and we'll see you next one. Bye bye.